So, Celeste, Donovan.
First of all, just thanks very much. I'm sure it's been a long week for everyone, and I think you've done pretty well to stay off your phones and Facebook, at least what I can tell. So the thing I want to discuss today is the issue of consultation, which is obviously why we're all here. What I mean by this is the process by which these decisions have been reached, the level of engagement with the public, and how much real space for engagement there has been for input and change to the plan. In other words, what does consultation mean in practice? So I recently watched a TED talk called How to Upgrade Democracy in the Internet Era. The basic idea of this TED talk is that we're 21st century citizens trying our hardest to interact with the 19th century design institutions, such as the council, that is based upon information technology of the 15th century. So, they argue in the talk, this kind of system only produces two kinds of results: silence or noise. Silence in terms of citizens not engaging, simply not wanting to participate, or noise when people frustrated at this lack of meaningful engagement feel like their only options are public protests, petitions, or other forms of adversarial politics. To me, it seems like the 18th century slogan that was the basis for our modern democracy, no taxation without representation, should now be updated to no representation without a conversation. We want a seat at the table. We want a seat at your table. Another key idea that I think we should engage with is how we can use technology to inspire public debate and through this create meaningful forms of democratic engagement. If we apply this concept to the way councils are currently engaging with their citizens, there are some positive developments. Wellington, for instance, is using Lumio, which is an online platform for decision making. They use this for their alcohol management strategy. Donovan City Council is currently accepting Facebook and Twitter comments as official feedback. Yet it seems to me that the Christchurch City Council has by and large stuck to old models of engagement, focusing on getting feedback through town hall meetings and formal written feedback, which I'm sure you'll be aware tends to favour a certain demographic, highly motivated interest groups, or dare I say an older generation. I mean, how many young people want to go to a meeting in a drafty town hall, especially when they think this is likely to have no impact? So, I think as a result of this, there's a sense of disillusionment and disconnect between what the community is saying and what is actually being implemented within the plan, or what has been engaged with in the consultation process, including the current focus on asset sales, which is perceived as being predetermined. This perception, I think, is reinforced by the fact that there seems to be attempts to limit sort of alternatives, such as the People's Choice Plan, which I think during a consultation process, all options should be on the table, because this promotes a healthy debate and also gives scope for public input into the plan, so we know what the alternatives are. And as we all know, this plan has critical significance for the city. It's probably the most important plan that we've ever looked at. So as I mentioned, there's a disconnect between the government's plans for the city, I have to say, and the community's wants and needs. This feeling, as I'm sure you're well aware by now, is particularly strong in the east, which is where I'm from. I think the inner city blueprint is a prime example of this lack of meaningful engagement and disconnect between what the government wants and community needs. I think it's remarkable that over 2.5 years that it took to design 18 inner city projects, there was only 4 moments of public engagement. This includes the design of a park, and that include a transport plan and a playground. Apart from this, there's been no public engagement on inner city stuff. There's got a $500 million convention centre, half of which is being paid by the taxpayers, which includes ratepayers here. $100 million river park, a major bus station, and development of public squares, which for the most part haven't been debated at all. I don't think it's all doom and gloom. I acknowledge that the council's made some effort to engage with the public. The council's run a successful pre-engagement consultation process, which gave more scope for engagement. And through this, people of Christchurch have clearly indicated what they want. I think, first of all, no asset sales. People said that they don't want asset sales, or they're not in a position to make an informed decision about asset sales, which I think is not surprising given the fact that many of the councillors here have campaigned on a platform of no asset sales, and there hasn't actually been much space for debate around that, apart from 5 minutes here or written consultations. Second of all, I think people want basic repairs to the roads. I live in New Brighton. I think it's quite appalling, really, that I live in New Brighton and the city on that side of the town feels like it did, I imagine, post-quake, and then you go to the other side of the city and you'd think that earthquake had never happened. And thirdly, more cycleways. I mean, that's sort of something that really should be front and centre. I think we shouldn't just be replacing what we have, but actually upgrading this to meet the needs of a future generation. So what we're looking for is 50 years into the future, really. So what I'm saying is the answers are basically already there. We've already told you what we want. As I've said, no asset sales, and we want things like the cost-sharing agreement renegotiated. I understand that's a complex issue, but it is something, it's about the council making a stand and telling the government that we need to take control of this process. As my father said yesterday, I would say that I would call upon you, councillors, to make sure that all of this feedback, which provides a clear direction for the city, is actually incorporated into the long-term plan and isn't just empty noise. I'd argue that this public feedback, such as strong opposition to asset sales, a call for greater input into the design of the central city, which Raf highlighted the other day, a greater focus on renewal, not just rebuilding the east side, and a development of public transport and cycle routes must be a key focus of this budget. I appreciate your time.
Thank you very much. That was
Trying to keep me on time.
It's good. You did. It's been a great double act. You will work your way.
Do you have any comments?
No,
or?
there's no time.
Oh, okay.
Sorry, we have to move on to other people waiting. Sorry.
I guess that feeds into my comments about consultation quite well, but thank you for your time.
I mean, that's the truth, but I don't
Yeah.
like this process at all.
No.
I like the fact that you highlighted that under
Yeah.
it wasn't here last week.
Yeah.
It will never be done.
Yeah. Thank you.